All right. Thank you for being here. One thing that you need to know about me is I'm not from financial sector, because that's a common thing. When you come to New York, you see everybody almost in financial sector. Um, so with Autodesk, most of you probably know who Autodesk is. Basically, we make software so that our customers can make things. So, and it could be the microphone that I'm using, or the chairs that you're sitting in, or the building that we are in. It's highly likely that they were constructed during the whole design process. Autodesk software was used. So our whole vision is to helping our customers to imagine and design to create a better world. And where we are targeting is, we are also trying to, as you probably have heard, Autodesk went through a huge cloud transformation. So we went into a subscription model, so just like any other company, which is naturally putting us in a state where we want to deliver continuous value to all of our customers. And so the biggest focus for us is, how do we automate the whole design and make processes for our customers so that they can really realize the value of future of making things, and while also getting more value and better experience with less resources and less impact to the world. And that's what we're trying to do. And as a company, we are also having two big initiatives. The biggest one is digitizing Autodesk. So what do we mean by digitize? Because everybody talks about digitization. So for us, when we say digitization, it's all about creating that frictionless experience, self-service experience to all of our customers, whether those customers are our external users or internal to Autodesk, if they are all of our employees and workforce. So we are putting a lot of focus in that, in trying to understand whoever that workforce is, what do they do, how do we really enhance and make their work, whatever they do, productive, so that they can really make an impact in whatever they do. And similarly for our end users too, how do we remove the friction so that they can gain the most value from our products? So that is a huge area of focus for us, and that's where we started going through this journey of leveraging automation as a core behind the scenes. And we will touch on AI, but at the same time, today you also heard there is an element of data, there is automation and experience. When you combine all of these things, that's where you're seeing a lot of themes of AI. And AI, I would say, is not a hype. I'll share with some of the real-time examples of what we have done. I don't want to say that we have solved everything, but at least we have embarked in this journey where we are pushing ourselves to start thinking of what else can we really do and remove that friction. And from an automation standpoint, right, we started off, if we say the first stages of our automation was almost looking at a single user. How do I make my work productive? So it was almost like desktop scraping, right? Like a finance user, if you look at it, I come to a job today and I pull some reports, I run, if bad jobs run, I run certain reports, I make some decisions. How can we automate that? And from there, we went into RPA. RPA is a huge work or initiative for us, because we have humongous, as many other companies, a lot of business processes and a lot of legacy and tech systems that you have in your ecosystem, and repeated kind of activities. And this is where RPA has definitely helped us by creating those bots that can really take over that manual work. And for this, the biggest thing is needing to have structured data and repeatable sets of actions, even if it is multiple systems or applications. And we have leveraged UiPath for getting RPA done. And we have several bots now. Some of the few examples that I can share is, within APAC, we have probably 14 plus countries that we process payroll. And there are 8 different systems where you need to download, upload files, and send it to your payroll provider. And all of these things are now done by bots. And sales, assigning appropriate opportunities to sales reps, or if you have contingent workforce, a lot of workforce that keeps coming up and down, the whole setup process is done by bots now. So we have double-digit bots within the ecosystem, and now we have bots managing bots. Because at the end of the day, you need to also make sure that those bots are performing what they need to do. And so that's the stage where we are in. But at this point, this is almost like mimicking human actions. And the next step or evolution is really getting into intelligent automation. where you start getting into NLP. There is an element of AI that starts coming in here, where we talk about, okay, there's different types of formats of invoices coming in, and you need to process them. And for that, you need to understand natural language processing, then text conversion, and then you also have, we've also developed, as an example, since there are multiple bots dependent on each other, and if we want to delay a particular bot to pick up an activity which is scheduled every night at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, and if a dependent activity is running late or we don't want to schedule it or push it out, now you can text to the bot. So saying that, hey, don't do it, and it recognizes who you are, that you are an authorized person, and then it pushes out and works with you. So it understands that you are able to text so that you don't need to be near your system. And that's how you are starting to interact with bots. We are all used to interacting or chatting with your peers. Now bots are becoming our peers too. So from there on, we looked at cognitive automation, right? I think this is where this is augmenting human intelligence is what I was called. The biggest use cases, what we have seen here is more on monitoring space. Here you need to, this is completely unstructured data, but you need to have a lot of data for the system to continuously start learning as well. Over time, it'll start learning, and when you have a lot of data, it starts predicting. And with operations, what we have seen is, how do we really not only be fast, quick, and reactive when we know something is going wrong, but is there patterns and themes that we can recognize or have systems recognize so that it really takes appropriate actions to prevent those issues? And this is where we are leveraging cognitive automation. Again, there is a lot of AI concepts here that we leverage. And finally, the topic of interest for today, right? From an artificial intelligence standpoint, this is almost like mimicking human intelligence. So I'll talk about two use cases that we have at Autodesk, where we have leveraged and where we are exploring and making a lot of progress. But if you do look at, right, the theme, the biggest focus is how do we automate whatever we do? And that is one of those primary aspects, irrespective of whichever business function, whether you're working in product teams, engineering teams, or G&A functions, or within IT, that is a common theme that you will see within Autodesk. And when you talk about AI, right, the first use case, this is something that we launched, we call AVA, Autodesk Virtual Agent, which was launched about a year back. And it uses IBM's cognitive technology, Watson, in really interacting with our customers for any queries that they reach out to. And this year, we also gave Ava a facial persona. So now she has much more empathy while she's interacting too. So it recognizes, if you do a video chat with Ava, it will also recognize that you are not super happy because you're frustrated for whatever reason. Then it also gives you appropriate dialogues when it interacts with you. And it is very apologetic in conversations. Then if it cannot handle, she will actually pass the conversation to appropriate agent who can then handle. So the overall personalized experience is something that we are starting to see, and that's what our customers are liking. And similarly, on the workforce front, we just launched this help bot. And we worked with a startup company in the Valley to do this. And what this help bot does is, again, we used IBM because we are talking about millions of customers. But when you look at the workforce, 9,000 plus employees and overall 12,000 workforce, you don't need to have huge technology like Watson that you need to implement. So we started working with a startup company, and we just launched this. What it does, this particular help bot, it's on Slack. So I'm sure if you're a software company or an engineering firm, you don't need to, you probably already have Slack. If you think you don't have Slack, just go check it out. Your engineers are already using Slack. And that's how we started using Slack too and adopted. But Slack works. So what happens is, if you submit a ticket or if you submit a service request, you're wanting some access to a particular system, or you forgot a password, or you need to create a distribution list, or you need to understand where this conference room is. It recognizes that a request has come in. Whether you ping somebody or you raise a ticket or you send an email, it takes that and pings the particular user on Slack and tries to solve the issue right away. Irrespective whether you ping the bot on Slack or not, it'll recognize that a particular request is looking for some help, and it'll ping you on Slack, and it'll try to get the required needs for you. And this is really almost trying to cover about 70% of our use cases that come to help desk. So from this standpoint, from a workforce standpoint also, we're talking about immediate experience, almost turning out of creating a ticket. You reach out to HelpBot, and if it cannot solve, it'll transfer. If it cannot solve, it will give you option. Hey, do you want to talk to a live agent right now to get the issue solved? So that's the next big thing that we did. So these are real use cases where we have implemented or we are putting in AI into use. And the cool thing with this HelpBot is, from the time we decided or we got the idea and we worked with the startup for going live, 75 days. So it's from time to idea to getting into production. That's the pace at which we are talking about, where we can really try things and really implement them. And that's the other aspect where it's starting to help our customers to get the required experience they need whenever they need it. So from a use cases, I think I covered about HelpBot and Ava. That's one big use case. And we are also looking at, as we have more data, I think the biggest thing that we are also looking at is creating business intelligence with it. We are also using it in security space, like device intelligence and identity. Like, we want to make sure that the people with the right devices and right access are accessing the right applications. So we are finding out patterns, alerting or taking off access if they should not have any access. And business process automation we covered in detail. This is where RPA comes into play. And the last one is AI-driven monitoring. And this is a combination of cognitive automation as well as AI. Now we are creating an AI analytics engine for monitoring, where it recognizes if you have a full stack monitoring, it'll start mapping dependencies between different application layer to the complete stack. So if any one of the tier 1 stack is having some problems, it alerts you that this could land into a big problem or a customer impact and whatnot. And the root cause analysis that usually takes probably 7 to 14 days after the incident gets closed, with this kind of AI-driven monitoring, it's really immediate. The whole idea is not only being reactive, finding out what happened afterwards and trying to put a long-term fix. It's almost, how do we avoid some of these issues from happening? And how do you put some proactive fixes and do preventative stuff? And that's where AI comes into play to help us. And from an approach standpoint, right, I would say the biggest thing, as we talked a lot also, is it comes back to resources. Yes, we are leveraging bots, we are leveraging AI and automation and tools. At the end of the day, it is to augment the workforce and the skills that we have so that we can accelerate the delivery that we need to bring to the table and add more value to whoever it is. So I think it's the best or fun time to be in IT or technology is what I would call it. And especially if you are in the Valley too, a lot of startups. We're at least engaged with 20 plus startups right now on different areas, whether it's cloud, security, infrastructure, collaboration space, networking space, you name it. We are working with different startup company to really see how can we start seeing things through an experience lens in a different way. And skill set it's again, we are competing for the same skill set too, all of us, to really get the same pool. And we are also doing a lot of in-house training or giving opportunities for our employees. It's not like sending them to classes or sending them to these conferences, whatnot. It is more about giving them the space and time and giving them the tools where they can learn in their self-pace. I think that is very important. And having a diverse mix of your talent is always helping us too. We have a mix of college grads, or we call it campus to corporate onboarding program that we have, as well as some experienced folks within the company who have been quite some time now, including me. I've been with the company for 13 years. So I fall into that bucket. But all of us need that mindset of wanting to learn all the time. So learn it all attitude is what we call, rather than know it all. And that is really pushing people to continuously learn and to retain talent. And the other thing is, as I mentioned, we're working at any point of time with different startups and trying out and checking. And it's not like every kind of POC or engagement that we have will land into really acquiring that product or gaining that product and leveraging them. But at least it is really keeping us on toes on what else is happening. Because technology no more is like, as I mentioned, it takes a week to 75 days to deploy. And also the lifespan also is not as humongous as some of the systems that we talk about, which takes years to implement. And the other big thing is, right, technology could also be super cool, again, in a software company. For you to get attracted to bring in more technology, it has to be business case driven. So you need to really start asking, so what, who cares? When somebody brings up any use case, the first thing I ask them to do is give me a one-pager on telling me, justifying, without even representing any technology within that one page, explaining what is the value and who is the consumer of whatever we're trying to do. And that's a tough exercise. Try to do it with your staff. When you really ask them to put something in writing, you can talk a lot, but when you really have to justify a business case, one-pager, it becomes real. And the way I ask them to do is, assume this project or the technology is being implemented. On the first day, when you're doing a press release, how will that be? What will be the launch message? Write that one page and show, and I think that will really drive a lot of prioritization exercise become simple. And then we have a whole life cycle management with more and more technology that we are investing in. It's a continuous process to keep your enterprise simple as well, so that you're not just accumulating a lot of tech debt. And that has been our approach. And again, the key learnings, as I tell my team, when we bring in so much change, I consider myself as a big, huge change agent. There is always pain. And I keep telling them pain is expected, suffering is optional. But it is really fun time to be in technology. And our goal is to make sure that we do more and better with less, and keeping always customer at the center. And that's our mantra, whether it is our end users or our internal employees. It's all about having customers at the center and making sure in whatever we do that there is always more value and better experience. Experience is key more than the feature, and with less resources. And with less resources, it's always a question that people ask, hey, what about, will automation take away the jobs and whatnot? My take is, we're able to scale up our employees and workforce. They are not now siloed in a particular bucket. They can really expand their portfolio and can learn more things. And as company scales, we all need more people to really be supporting and working on different things. So I think there's always enough roles, as long as you have the appetite to keep adapting yourself and have the ability to shift and learn. I think there's always jobs. And we will continue to collaborate and work with these bots and AI stuff. Thank you for having me.